All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Grand Tactician Civil War. We're picking up where we left off on our last save in the Union campaign. We just fought that third Battle of Bull Run, and we're going to keep going. Gonna unpause time. There's that result from the newspaper. So we're just gonna keep going. Now we do have some options that we're going through here. And I think one of the things we need to look at is, yeah, I mean we're pretty even in terms of manpower right now, so that's not too bad. But as we recall, let's go over here to Missouri. There we are. Our Department of the West and their Missouri State Guard are roughly equal. So we're going to want to try and get that remedied, right? I mean, we don't want to go into any fights, especially on the offense, where we're the underdogs. So we're going to be slowly reinforcing the Department of the West. I think we can also look at maybe moving the Department of the Ohio Army, a little bit more west, and potentially, let's see what we've got here in terms of recruits. Not really a lot, right? I mean, it looks like we have a whole bunch, right? But we don't have a whole lot in any one area. So we'll have to wait a little bit to get some more recruits there. But the reason we're moving the Department of the Ohio is the Confederates really like to try and take Kentucky. And we don't have a lot of troops there at the moment. So we're going to kind of reposition and see if we can't get where we're kind of in a position to stop them if they decide they're going to attack again. So that's kind of our thought here. And with that said, we're going to speed up time. All right, and what we're going to do here is we're going to put a fort down. Um, it's going to guard this railroad bridge a little bit, as well as this avenue of attack. Now, I think this is the Shenandoah Valley, right? Because if you remember when we started, the Army of the Shenandoah was over here. So I think this is the Shenandoah Valley. If it is, putting a fort here to kind of plug this gap is going to be a really good way to protect our flanks and free up the our Pennsylvania Army to be able to maneuver more, potentially go on the attack again or help defend stuff. So now let's see. Did our no, not yet. Okay. We'll see. Every now and then you'll get fresh reinforcements and more recruits, so that'll be something we want to be watching for. Increase the size of our armies, things like that. And actually, I think I saw yeah, that we got some of our Springfield rifles in. So we'll upgrade one of our units there with better weapons. Oh, that's where it is. Okay. And there's our better contracts, so that's a good thing. Let's see if we can get. Okay. So apparently it did auto manage some weapons. We'll leave that on then. That's good. That's good. So we just got our 1-year contracts. Now, it's an interesting thing here. We're going to go for the Tariff Act. Now, that's going to give us some more money. It's going to irritate the Europeans a bit, but as you can see, their willingness to intervene and help the Confederates is really low right now. So that's a good time for us to get that in there. Just because it's not like we're going to be really pushing them too hard. And I think, yeah, our next round of recruits has come available. So we're going to go ahead and start increasing the number of troops we have in the Department of the Ohio. That is not bad. I mean, they're a little expensive, but 400 yards, that's really good. It's really good. Now remember, we're definitely trying to make sure that we are recruiting in the same rough area, uh, theater for our troops, right? So we don't want to get too far away from our armies, too far away from where they're going to be recruiting, just because that extends how long it'll take for those troops to get to where they're going. So all right. Now, looking at the Missouri State Guard and the Department of the West, they're roughly even. So I am going to pull back to St. Louis, protect it a little bit, but also looking at trying to make it where they come to us, if at all possible. Um, just so we have the advantage of being able to defend. As we've seen in previous videos, having those defenses up is a massive, massive manpower saver. So that's something that we're gonna definitely want to have as often as we can. So, and to that end, we might also consider increasing the Army of Northern Virginia here. We should be able to have a decent number of recruits now. And since this is one of our main armies, especially a main army for a lot of the fighting we've been doing, getting more troops there is going to be a big deal. So, All right, let's speed up time. Oh, hold on. Okay, they're attacking Fort Washington, and unfortunately, we don't have this fort quite built yet, so we're gonna have to pull back into Washington D.C. It's unfortunate, but like we don't have quite the number of field armies needed to do that, to fight that off. It is what it is, right? That said, this fort just got finished, so why don't we consider threatening their flank with the Department of Pennsylvania, right? Because we know, I mean, yeah, they could come all the way around, but they'd have to go all the way around. We should be able to see that coming, um, at least to some extent, right? So they go this way. There's the fort there. It'll at least slow them down. So, and we'll reinforce the Department of Pennsylvania with another 6,000 men, so 2 units of infantry. And I will say I would be much more willing to be aggressive and try and hit their Hampton division, but like we just don't have artillery ammo, right? We're almost completely out. So, now where in the world is that army going? Going all the way around us? Oh. Well, after a whole lot of maneuvering, we're gonna fight a pretty interesting battle here. Confederates are coming from the north, we're coming from the south, and we'll see whether we're attacking or defending. It's a pretty even fight, so this could be a brutal one. Okay, it does look like the Confederates are going to be able to defend, but it doesn't look like they have much in the way of natural defenses. I mean, these roads and this fence line, but I think we will be able to do this. It'll be uh, it'll be a fun challenge, everybody. That's what it'll be, right? All right, where is our army? In this corner. So let's plan out right here. So I'm thinking go up this road. Yeah, and then kind of squiggle around. Come up here and fight that way. Yeah. Okay. And we're starting at 7:30 at night, so this will definitely be at least a 2-day battle. There's no way we're getting anywhere close to them on this first day. Not happening. Alrighty. And now we're gonna wait. Yeah, it was a really short in the day, but I mean, we expected it. We knew it wasn't gonna be long for that first one, so.
Anytime now. Grab that wheel and push.
Alrighty, everybody, we're getting really close to where we're gonna be our kind of jump off point slash final um, deployment area for this battle. The thought here is that we're going to make use of this ridge, right? We're going to put our artillery up here, put our probably cavalry somewhere right in here, right? Just kind of guard this gap and kind of make sure they don't flank us. Um, we're kind of helped, but they're kind of helped too by having the edge of the map here. But infantry kind of here, artillery, cavalry, and come in down off this ridge. Um, it's not perfect, right? It does give them the potential to have this long fence line as a natural defensive position. I'm hoping that we will have flanked them and that we can then rush off the hill to capture the fence lines and use them to our advantage. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Um, it's definitely a walk, right, from where we started, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. I am gonna make sure that I give our troops time to rest. Um, Before we go into battle. Um, just because that's going to be something that we kind of really like. It's the numbers are so close that every advantage that we can give ourselves is going to be one that we have to take advantage of. So, I mean, yeah, it just is, right? Like we're so close in numbers, we can't afford to give away any advantage that we can get. So, and the ones I'm particularly worried about, I should say, are definitely going to be our artillery. Um, I mean, they're going to have to come up through these woods and set up, so it is going to take them time. The more we rush it, the more tired they're going to be. The more tired they are, the less effective. So really, we want to be fast, but we want to make sure that we're not essentially destroying any chance of our troops being able to be effective. So we already see some of their units over there. And they kind of know where we are. Kind of. So that's not fantastic. But
Quiet in the rank. Quiet.
they're going to pull back. Yeah, they're repositioning. This could get brutal. Um, if it does, it does. I mean, our die is cast here, so
Sergeant! Any word from the picket line? Keep up, men. Don't fall behind. Keep up, men. Don't fall. Keep up, men. Don't fall behind. Keep it steady now. Keep it steady now.
alright, we're going to go to just normal time here rather than sped up significantly. We'll say, I don't know why they do that. That's a really peculiar thing. They could have just kept moving straight forward and it would have been just fine.
Keep your head, and you get out of. Keep your sergeant. Any word from the sergeant? Widen the ranks.
Not fantastic. We're going to have to leave our defensive positions, it looks like, to get to them. So that's not wonderful. But maybe, just maybe, we can still make it work. Especially since it looks like, with what I'm seeing, we'll be facing them, still getting them in the flank. So if we can get a couple of good volleys before they get repositioned, we'll have a potentially have a advantage there. So
I'm about to walk right out of his boots. Go, boys. Right shoulder, boys. Shift. Ah! Don't stop for the wounded. Keep moving. I'm about to walk. Shift. Ah! Never mind the wounded. Keep firing.
nothing crazy. We're starting out decently. it's funny because whenever they start laying down like this, right, they think they can get really good defensive positions, and to an extent they can, right, because we're getting less fire, accurate fire on them because they're laying down, so they're harder to hit, but it makes them vulnerable in melee. So all you have to really do is start getting your troops close. Yeah, just like that, and then they automatically will get back up.
Shoot the one on that horse.
One is a bit brutal, but I mean, it's World War II. I mean, I don't like it, but choosing these guys is the way to go. Now, for these guys, we are going to have our infantry in a medium range on this, just to kind of save ammunition. We don't want to constantly shooting at people that we aren't going to be doing a lot of damage to. So they've taken a lot of damage, so when this unit breaks, we'll let them stay back and cover a bit. So we'll get these two on this field. Guys back to long range. chuckling because they're like, holy moly, there's, the Confederate troops, in front of them,
Save your water for when the
Confederate
shooting starts.
troops being surrounded. They're like, holy moly. So that's kind of what's happening here, but because they're doing that, we're going to start really pressing.
Stay ready.
The question here is not going to be if we win anymore. It's going to be how big of a win do we have. And that would just made them give up a lot of really good defensive positions. So that's good. It's all for the good for us. Alright, we've captured the objective, and we're moving to fully push them out of this area, so this battle, I think, is almost done. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a lot of fight left in the Confederates here, but they can still do some damage. They do have a brigade here that's mostly intact, so I'm they know this battle is lost. We're gonna probably let it go. I mean, yeah. So it will just let the. Well, you know what? Hold on. They haven't gotten anywhere to go. We'll see what we can do about destroying an army. I mean, it's not going to be like a easily accomplished task, but at the same time, I mean, might as well do what we can, right? Remove one piece from the board as much as possible. We may not get anywhere, but we're going to at least try. Yeah, we didn't get anywhere. That's alright. But 2.5 to 1 casualties is not bad. Alrighty, that is a major victory for us, and we will call the episode there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. As always, feel free to leave comments, tips, suggestions in the comments, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Dragonheart signing off.